Hello, welcome to Breaking Bidehul. I'm your host, Scott Boche. Don't like the way I'm sounding when I hear these things, but we're getting the thoughts together and getting things out. Again, I'm looking at it like a budget session, agenda, sitting down, encouraging journalists around the world, truth seekers. Let's do this. Let's get to the bottom of this. Only because we have tangible targets, assets we can knock out, that in turn will slow down their operation, the laundering, which in turn appears to slow down the funding for the war efforts on both sides. Putin was bragging that the U.S. spent $800 billion on war efforts and Russia only spent $74. How much of that $800 billion ended up in Russia with this funding? Many different means. We have to get at those different operations. How Bidehul works in Russia. They have to talk about it, expose it. President Shamut talk about it, and tattletale. It's a big part, apparently, of culture there, opening their mouth and ratting. But let's talk about freedom of the press, freedom of speech. Don't think there's freedom of the press. I can't find normal media inquiries of so-called press rooms at big organizations are falling on deaf ears. I get nowhere. It stinks. It reeks. Something's not right. So if I can say there's no freedom of the press and there's no freedom of speech, because maybe Jake could talk to this, is freedom of speech a threat to national security? It certainly would appear as if that were the case, huh? Anyway, we need Jake to talk about that, because no comment is all we're going to get. And if we have no freedom of the press and we have no freedom of speech, well, we're in trouble, and we're no different than Russia. And you can say what you want about Russia. It would be the same thing, and then we should deal with the issue at hand, correct? No freedom of press, no freedom of speech. How would they treat the whistleblower? That's what I want to talk about quickly. Sistuk, Ivana Matra, the one that is blowing the whistle. The take, apparently, it's really hard to get your hands around this conspiracy theory stuff, but it is the West now operating the laundering scheme, and in this case, the different methods they use to raise money for their war effort. Is the West involved, and the raising of the money now is controlled and distributed by that source? It's just crazy, like it's all orchestrated or something. But the funding mechanism, well, that's for someone else. I'm focusing on my frenemy, the operator, and he has so many different methods of laundering, apparently, right there in that town alone. And he uses these witches to do so many things. They're everywhere around the world, but this appears to be a playground where he's been able to thrive and spend the most of your money. Will they protect the whistleblower? I tried to read up, and it says Russia asked the people it's important for them to come forward in terms of the motherland and discuss. Here's the story. I want to pose the question to Babushka when she is tearing this place apart in Peter, and she looks at those in the darkness who claim that they're being held captive. We will hear from the gal who heads up the Coalition to End Sexual Discrimination of Human Beings. I don't have the actual wording. Amazing. Really nice lady. And when I asked her, she said, if it's about Russia, it's like a can of worm. No comment. We can't even begin to get into it. So it's difficult. She was trying to help me to understand it. But we're getting into slaves now, not so much hookers. It's really hard to tell. But anyway, one's ratting, and they're possessed or influenced. It's all very evil. And it's cool in a way, because it poses the question, the demons who apparently saw the glory of God and left heaven, they are never to return. Ultimately, they're going to be crushed like a bug with their master, the loser. When you look at the third that left with Satan, like he deceives us and others, and they too are deceived. So I think it poses the question, this Sistuk, this Ivana Matra, a demon may be rebelling and saying no, realizing it's done, but I'm told no. So I'm sorry. Thanks for listening. We're going to have someone on and tell us about that. We have to get to the bottom of that, how this works, And again, when they're they die, is there a way for them to go? Something about a puff of smoke. Is it real? Sending them back to hell for 200 to 300 years. That would frustrate the enemy's plan, and I think that's what I'm all about. I mean, that's fantastic. This is a terrible, terrible thing. Back to the whistleblower, Sistuk Ivana Matra. I think it's Babushka who was going to get VVP to act, and her priest, to protect her son, the gay son that will be murdered for decades and the one that's over in Ukraine getting killed. She'll have to decide whether the Ivana Matra is a Zashenyek, defender, or Piskopnik, criminal. They apparently want to repay their debt to the motherland. They have betrayed them. VVP said they all knew. Over and over again, you'll come back to, did VVP know about this or not? If he set it up, did he set it up to hurt the West? Did he do this on purpose to hurt the family and the children? Looks bad. Looks bad if he set it up, but then they took control. Now they're setting up Russia, saying Russia is doing what Bidehul's doing, all the child sex crimes. It's all Russia. It's Russia. And Russia's saying, no, it's not. It's the gays. The gays did it. We're setting the gays up. So it's some nasty, nasty finger point, and they've got it all set up, and the gays are going to take a fall. So the babushka will make the decision. Mommy, Granny is going to make the decision. She's going to tell the men what to do. She's going to tell VVP what to do, and he listens to her, and he's going to go, and the priest is going to have to do it, and go get those damn witches. Not just in the Coven in northeastern Peterer, but everywhere, throughout that whole city, everything they're doing. Playground, running wild, been doing everything here. Unbelievable. They can figure that out. That's their problem. That's the internal threat. Satanism. They're the ones with the threat. They can deal with it. But I believe he says to retaliate, Moshka, to wipe the midge, which you would learn more about. We'd talk about that. That's all. But that's stuff like war stuff. We're focusing on Bidehul, my frenemy. The bigger picture is extremely interesting, and I would love to talk to VVP. We'll get to those questions for him. I'll make it more clear and concise, and that'll take a whole program. I'll take five questions for him, and hopefully he will address them. They'll deal with the bigger picture. But for Bidehul, he has to break Bidehul, and he has to use those spawns. And when Bidehul gives up on the children, he's going to rat out his client. He's going to rat out the enemy. He's going to tell us how to freaking help little Johnny and Janie. That's exciting, isn't it? And most importantly, my brother's going to stop. He needs help stopping. And I believe that we're going to find it's an evil tool, a tool that evil people use. They use the sick, Bidehul, Predator, as a tool to do their manipulation and power. Disgusting. So interesting. It's a cry for help. Now, the whistleblower who's giving us Bidehul, how will the motherland decide? What will she say about the Sistuk in the darkness, claiming they're being held captive, coerced to do the devil's work, to destroy Russia from inside Russia? Satanists, the land of pseudo-value, Peter in Aras, Per-Erm, and other real men and women of Russia. When will they join with Mother Russia? Come down from that perch in Volgorod. Retaliate. Wipe the midge. Wipe Moshka. Sonista Konvrima Peterer, the satanic witches of St. Petersburg. It's just the start. Not picking, not sympathizing. That's where the money has been the best. Most money spent there. Will they extract the whistleblower? Will they protect the whistleblower? They are ready to die in order to help Bidehul, their master, stop. It's a crazy story. Will the whistleblower be extracted now and protected? I can't reveal this person, but if I did, everyone could see this member of their LGBT community being blamed for his child sex crimes, as Russia will take the hit, and they are blaming the LGBT community, Gaiety Bemet Krochina, the gay child of the fatherland. I'm probably wrong with that. He has his fans, folks. As one said to me, what's wrong with you, a right-wing wacko? You don't like porn? I'm like, child porn? They're talking about choice and what's wrong with me. Why don't I shut up? What are you talking about? You're a hypocrite. Did you just pray in public? Jesus said, don't do that. So it's coming out now. The demons are coming out. I'm going to start getting hit. So I got to keep it together. I thank you for listening. We're moving on. Ooh, my neck. Don't even look at that witch. Duct tape that guy's hands. I don't care if he's on Fox. Wrap his freaking hands in duct tape. Thank you. Resume the witch trials. Replace the laundry room attendant. What will you do, Babushka? Will you have VVP protect the Sistuk, the Ivanomantra, Zashenyik, Pribli, this Gorpnik? Where are the Gorpniks? Can we use them to get it done? That's next time on Breaking Bidehul.
Since we got her digging in the dirt, find the places we got her digging in the dirt, find the places we got her.